It's always great seeing old faces given new life on modern platforms. Raiden 3 originally released in 2005, marking 12 years for the legendary series to see another number entry. While there were great spin-offs to fill the gap, I know I was excited to see a true follow-up to the first shmup I ever played. It would launch to a mixed reception, criticized for its presentation and lack of innovation, but that hasn't been cause to me to not enjoy the experience or pour hours into it, especially now with Mikado Maniax, injecting new life into the game. The story is simple. Earth is under attack and we are on mission to thwart it. While I would say the graphics don't impress as much as they did in 2D, Raiden's identity wasn't lost in the transition. You'll blast through 7 stages, each with themes that pay respect to their predecessors. There's a definite old school feel, but revamped for a modern era. The ship is slow, with just enough speed to avert incoming fire, with enemy crafts that will fly into the lower parts of the screen, firing at a horizontal. Later stages even rival or if not become a bullet hell. While most patterns are simple, with gaps that are easy to see, they are unrelenting in speed and number. This is especially true of bosses, where you'll need to avoid a flurry of patterns back to back. It isn't a game that you'll once see on a first try, that's for certain. Nonetheless, you'll be left in want of one more go, feeling that in the next attempt, you got this. You begin to form strategies, like when to change a shot type. The venerable red and blue power-ups make a return, the workhorses for spread and focus fire. What came as a shock years ago though, was that Raiden's 2 Plasma Beam is absent. In my mind, it's the shot type I associate most with the series. So uniquely badass. In its stead, we get the green proton laser, and it pales in comparison. The power is decent, but sways to the movement of the ship. It sounds beneficial, but has proven a liability when the screen is showered in bullets. You can end up shooting at nothing while evading, or worse, unintentionally flying into harm's way and correcting it. I'm sure it has its fans, but it's the only shot type I avoid. You can also collect power-ups for passively shot missiles, with the standard impact and homing making a return. There is a new addition, the radar missile, that is generally directed at the enemy. Each pickup scales in power, and it's something else once maxed. Just the sight and appearance of the ion laser is awesome enough, but the destructive power is next level. A prevailing strategy is using spread for the stage itself, but shifting to a focused laser for the boss. It's carried me far, but pickups can be treacherous. See, they'll begin to rotate in the center of the screen. Not only must you contend with the enemy, but you gotta time your approach. Delay too long and they'll fly off screen. It's common for you to make a go for it, only to die in the process, get the wrong one, or worse yet, get the one you want and die. Talk about demoralizing. Depending on the circumstance, why take the risk? Bomb your way in. You'll be invulnerable, while eliminating most threats. I voiced it in my review of Mushihime-sama, but the Raiden series is the reason I've been reluctant to use bombs in shmups, for the stage endpoint bonus. Well, when I missed out on a 1cc in that game due to the mindset, a pang I still feel to this day, I've had a change of heart. Like Mushihime-sama, any bombs in stock are lost upon death, with 3 replenished. There's also the risk of being too weak and rejoining the fray. While there are local and online leaderboards, there aren't any score-based extends in Raiden 3. I'd rather wager the score than my survival. There are 2 hidden lives, one in stage 3 and the other in 6, but that's it. It's all skill and practice. Fortunately, you have a few options for it. You can shift the difficulty down, which is great as it slows bullets but hardly touches their patterns. Effective in learning how to counter troublesome scenarios. You can take the challenge into polar extremes, where enemies won't fire at you at all, or all that needs to be said is good luck. Further, the game also starts you off with 2 continues, but each time you start a new game will gain more, up to unlocking free play. Those play sessions won't just net you personal experience, but in-game points towards the Mikado Maniax content. What makes this release special from any prior port of the game is the music. Mikado is an arcade center located in Tokyo, Japan, and from what I've read, it sounds like a retro haven, the sort of arcade I grew up with. I'm sure many of us have memories of walking around with a plastic cup rattling full of coins, or pressing the red coin eject button when you ran out, hoping some were left behind. Well, in collaboration with the Mikado Game Center, several artists came together to remix not just the music of Raiden 3, but other songs in the series. The original soundtrack had a few songs that I liked, but they were all front-loaded, with the latter half not eliciting much of a response. The Mikado influence is like a 300mg infusion of caffeine that has me focused and full of energy, compelling my all. The music is split into an A and B side, with the former being all electronic, the latter rock and metal. You can mix and match per stage for a bespoke musical experience. The track library is sizable too, so you'll continually unlock music for a while. The same goes for wallpapers. To round out the package are things from the base game, score attack, boss rush, 2-player play, and a novel curiosity and double mode, where each analog stick is given command of a ship, sharing lives and bombs. It's fun, if just to experience once. It's hard to keep track of which stick controls a ship when things get going. I'm left with the thought that it's just a mode for the sake of having a mode. A what if. Overall, Raiden 3 is a fun time, but I know for a fact that, even at the time of its arcade release, some found it bland or boring. Relative to other STGs then, especially now, it does stand out for being simple. That isn't inherently bad, I like the game for it, but I would feel remiss if I didn't share the game isn't for everybody, or that I'm conflicted about the launch price of Mikado Maniax. It wasn't long ago, for $1.50 US, you could have procured the original game, accompanied by an art book and soundtrack on PC. The game is presented in standard definition, and has a reduced aspect ratio, but there are ways around it, and the game itself is the same. There was an announcement when it would be delisted, so it's not like it disappeared without warning. Again, just something I want to throw out there. Mikado Maniax is the best way to experience Raiden 3. I'm happy to have a modernized edition of the game for Switch, PS5, and PC, with music that gives new life to the gameplay. It may not do much to change the core package from past ports, but I do think it feels more complete now. Raiden 3 may not be the best entry in the series, or appeal to everyone, but if you take to it like I have, it will keep you coming back. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you have any thoughts, a comment, or if you found potential in me and what I could produce, please subscribe. Everyone, have a good one.